my name's Steve and welcome to the Seaside Allotment channel. Now, one of the most common questions that I get is what's in my smoothie mixes, and that's a difficult question to answer because it changes all the way through the year. In fact, I don't think we have a standard smoothie mix from one month to the next. And the reason for that is also the reason why we like to do smoothie mixes for people. And that is that we always have a lot of leaves, because primarily we're picking leaves for the smoothies, that are not good enough quality for eating in another form. So they're not good enough for the salads or the stir fry mixes or cooking greens or whatever. But they're just ideal to be blended up. And that's because they're either just going to seed, or they're maybe a little bit too small, or they're just something like, say, radish tops or something like that. So I thought I'd just talk you through the smoothie mix that I'm picking today, and I'll give you a good impression of what a mix looks like. So one of our favourite ingredients are the field bean tops or broad bean tops. And we have loads of those, and we just like to pinch out the tips of those, and they're absolutely fantastic. They blend up really nicely. They're really mild taste, and they're incredibly nutritious as well. So broad bean tops or field bean tops. We tend to pick mostly field bean tops, but next month we won't have any field bean tops, but we'll have plenty of broad bean tops. So again, it just sort of depends on the time of year. So then right now we've got some overwintered beetroot, and that's starting to go to seed. So we're picking loads of the beetroot leaves. Some of the beetroot are formed, but not all of them. So that's been slightly disappointing, but it's not really that disappointing because we're getting an abundance of leaves. Now, we actually a lot of people prefer chard for, say, a stir-fry green than beetroot leaves, but beetroot leaves are just fantastic in the smoothie mixes. So that's, we've been picking loads and loads of beetroot leaves. And then right now, quite a lot of the spinach is also going to seed. It's a common theme here. And so we're picking the little rosettes off the spinach. Now, they're too small really for a stir-fry green, but they're just fantastic for the smoothies. Then we always leave a few radish to go, not to seed, but just to sort of put on an abundant green growth. And maybe people haven't seen what radishes look like when you just leave them. But French breakfast radishes are fantastic for this. They're actually quite a big plant, and they've got fantastic brassica green leaves. So we like to pick quite a few of those. And you don't really need to leave that many. So we probably, out of a tray of 40 radishes, and there's probably 3 or 4 radishes in each module, so that's 120 radish plants. We probably leave, say, 10, something like that. From each tray of radish that we plant, we leave about 10 plants to grow on. And then when they get too big and leggy and sprawly, then we'll get rid of those. But radish leaves, definitely really good. And in winter, we'd also do something like a winter radish. And again, that's another really nice brassica green to include in the mixes. Now, one of the things we really like to do is to have a blend of leaves that are high in oxalic acid and ones that are low in oxalic acid. So the brassica greens tend to be low. The things in the spinach family, spinach, perpetual spinach, chard, and beetroot leaves tend to be really high. And then so anyway, what else? So we'll also pick, the brassicas are also going to seed at the moment, and one of the things that happens when brassicas go to seed is you get an enormous number of really tiny little tender leaves. They tend to be a little bit too tiny for cooking, kind of go into a mush, but again, they're just fantastic for smoothie mixes. So let me think, is there anything else? So then we've got some Welsh onions, and they're really nice as well. So we just pinch off the tops of those. And we've got stacks of spring onions as well. So some spring onion greens as well as those Welsh onion greens. Gives things a nice kick. We probably put in a few big leaves. So something like a perpetual kale leaf or a calabrese leaf. We've got loads of calabrese leaves at the moment. They're really lovely and tender. And just looking around in here, I think that's a pretty good idea of the sort of mix that we'd get in a smoothie mix. So I'll just show you the end result. So there you go, that would be a typical day's smoothie. Some onions, some beetroot, field beans, spinach, radish leaves, sorrel. So it's a wonderful time of year really for smoothies. It's so much going to seed, and of course those seed heads have got so much nutrition in them. But you know, whatever time of year, there's always something available, and a big mix as well. We always try for something like 12 different types of leafy greens, and obviously as we get into summer, then we start adding the fruit, you know, apples and pears and blueberries and raspberries and strawberries and all that sort of thing to the mix as well, to make it as varied as possible. So anyway, I hope you like this quick video, and I'll see you soon.